Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you joining me today. Got a few people on already. This is kind of a weird one. We're going to file this under creepy. It's also in the LISK file. We've got multiple indexes here, I guess. But we're talking about this guy, Rex Heuermann, who is charged. He is suspected of being the Long Island serial killer and is charged right now, at least, in the deaths of 6 women: Melissa Barthelemy, Megan Waterman, Amberlynn Costello, Maureen Brainard-Barnes, Jessica Taylor, and Sandra Costilla. Of course, the charges for the murders of Ms. Taylor and Miss Costilla were just added within the last, week, maybe 2? I can't remember. But I woke up this morning to kind of a creepy alert in my email with a kind of a side story on this that I thought was interesting, and I thought that I would bring this to you. An honorable audio says the family and lawyer who did the presser last week. That was sort of, yeah, indeed. So I'm gonna this is going to be a short one. We're not going to be here for too long, guys. But I want to bring you this article over from the Sun US. And it is titled, Rex Heuermann was a mediocre marksman who quietly blended in at gun club 6 days before victim found just a mile away. And look at this photo. Oh, drinking a Coca-Cola. Okay. Member of Long Island shooting community are unnerved to learn they rubbed shoulders with an alleged serial killer. Rex Heuermann was a mediocre marksman who seamlessly blended in at an exclusive shooting club that he visited a day before one of his alleged victims, Jessica Taylor, disappeared, a local gun instructor says. So it's a day before Jessica Taylor disappeared. She's seen right here in the middle. And 6 days before her body was found, Heuermann was in the area at this gun club. Taylor vanished on July 21st, 2023. The 20-year-old's mutilated torso was found 5 days later in a wooded area just over a mile from the Peconic River Sportsman's Club in Manorville, New York. By the way, I did find, it wasn't hard, right? It was linked in the article, so I guess I shouldn't say I found it, but this is the club, the Peconic River Sportsman Club right here. That is the website, and apparently it was posted to the website according to the Sun. Okay, one more picture of Rex, same picture. Let's get back over here. There he is. Look how giant of a man he is compared to other people. And I don't know. I don't know enough about competitive shooting. Oh, that's hilarious. Look, he's wearing like business shoes at the gun range. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so there is the proof that Rex Heuermann was there. What did he score? His aggregate score was 689. So yeah, he was average. Okay, Heuermann, which actually, you know what? I don't know why we even care about those little details, because that is not the way that Mr. Heuermann dispatched. I shouldn't even make it easy to say that. Murdered at least 6 women. He did so violently and horrifically, not with firearms. Okay, Heuermann, 60, was indicted of the killing of Taylor and another woman, Sandra Costilla, in court last week, bringing his alleged victim count up to 6, with an investigation still ongoing. And let's remember who our victims are. In court documents, prosecutors shared a date book belonging to Heuermann from around the time of Taylor's disappearance, which included an entry for July 20th to attend a shooting event at Peconic River at 11 a.m. New York High Power founder Ira Ruderman told the U.S. Sun that the club records show that Heuermann attended the event. Ruderman, shared an image of Heuermann's score sheet from a competition dated July 20th, 2003 as proof, which we just looked at. 5 days later, a dark-colored Chevrolet pickup truck was seen by a witness, backed up in the same wooded area near where Taylor's remains would be found on July 26th. The description of the truck matched a 2002 dark Chevy green Avalanche that Heuermann owned at the time, prosecutors said. And you guys remember, he was actually looking to replace his car with a different color. Partial skeletal remains of another sex worker murdered on Long Island, Valerie Mack, were found even closer to Peconic River in 2000. Of course, the indication there is that we probably are going to see another indictment, a superseding indictment, where I think Heuermann is going to be charged with the murder of Valerie Mack. Heuermann has not been charged in connection with Mack's murder, but Suffolk County District Attorney Ray Tierney confirmed he is under investigation as a leading suspect. Ruderman, who has been participating in and running events at Peconic since 1995, says he has had a handful of run-ins with Heuermann over the years. He described the hulking 6'6" former architect as affable and otherwise unassuming. That is so scary to me, guys. It's, my brain is working faster than my mouth. What am I trying to say here? What I'm trying to say is that we usually hear the loner who kept to himself kind of story. Oh, he was just a loner. He kept to himself. We hardly ever saw him. Those kinds of things. But that's not what Heuermann was. He was an affable dude. He was a guy that, fit in. He fit in with society, apparently. Just scares me. Let's see. Let me turn off. There we go. Okay. New family evidence shared by Gilgo victim's attorney a week after suspect Rex Heuermann charged was two. Okay. I think that was a image that didn't come through. I don't remember when I first met him because so many years have gone by, but I know I met him and competed against him in some of these events in the early 2000s, said Ruderman. This guy is 6'5" or 6". He's big. There aren't too many people of his size out on the range. So you remember him when you see him and you know who he is. The only distinctive thing about him was how huge he is. Otherwise, he was just an affable, regular guy. This reminds me of Dexter. That was a show that I just absolutely loved. Dexter was weird, right? I know this is fictional and everything. He fit in as best he could, but he was weird. But not Heuermann. Heuermann here, he fit in, man. Other than him just hulking over everybody else, he fit in. Continuing the quote from Ruderman, he came out and did what he was supposed to do. There was nothing about him that stood out. Ruderman recounted sharing many one-to-one conversations with Heuermann, but said the topic of discussion was never anything, quote, exotic or untoward. When asked about Heuermann's capabilities as a marksman, Ruderman added, he was just average to mediocre. He wasn't really into the sport. Some of us go up and compete in the national matches and bigger championships, but he's one of the casual guys in the community. I have friends like that who have been doing it 20 years and they shoot terribly, but they don't care because they like going out there and hitting the target with bullets. So he was just a guy that was out casually shooting. Okay, creeped out. Ruderman shared with the U.S. Sun photos of Heuermann at the Peconic Club, helping to train young marksmen for a sanctioned safety program called Small Arms Firing School, which focuses on gun safety and marksmanship for legal competition. He said he only became aware of the image when the U.S. Sun reached out to him for comment on Monday. Heuermann was not a member of Peconic River, but the 2006 SAFS event was open to the public, and willing, experienced attendees were asked to assist the younger marksman. Look at this. Kid with an AR-15. Heuermann is his spotter. Heuermann obliged, Ruderman said. His last known appearance at the exclusive club, which boasts a year-long waiting list, came in April 2010. Oh my goodness. Like, dressed in camouflage, that creeps me out. Yeah, that really creeps me out, man. Here's another picture of Ms. Taylor, right? So there's Ms. Taylor right there. Of course, it goes into the killing grounds and all that. Ruderman said he instantly recognized Heuermann when he was arrested for murder in July 2023. Yeah, I guess he probably stood out, right? He said it makes him feel uneasy to know he'd been in the company of an alleged serial killer during the time his alleged killing spree was in full operation. Quote, the moment I heard it on the news, I made my wife rewind the TV, said Ruderman. I think they mispronounced his name at first, but when I heard Rex and saw the picture on screen, I was like, holy S. It's creepy to know you've been around someone like that. Obviously, he's innocent until proven guilty, but the evidence against him is stacking up and it sounds damning. That reminds me of a conversation that I had last week. I was talking about Heuermann with a friend of mine who has been following the Long Island serial killer case for a long, long time. And she constantly, not constantly, but every time we talk about this, she says something like, I wonder how many of them are out there. I wonder how many of them I know or have met. And that is a scary feeling, right? Scary thought. It is just creepy, added Ruderman. In life, you never know what's behind someone's curtain, and it just proves that point. I never suspected anything of him for a second, and I never saw his house. Maybe if I saw it 20 years ago, I'd have suspected something. It's weird he's an architect, and that's where he lives. Maybe if I'd seen it, I'd have said something's clearly wrong here. Maybe because he lived outside the city. Ruderman shared that members within his social circle of shooting buddies are equally as shocked to learn they'd rubbed shoulders with an accused serial murderer. You guys know, of course, that the Golden State Killer Joseph DeAngelo lived like right close to where I grew up. Like, I had friends that I would ride my bicycle to go see and would pass his house. It just, yeah. He doesn't know anyone who shared a close relationship with Heuermann, though many have been shaken by the news, he said. Carrie Goldberg, a spokesperson for Peconic River, also confirmed that Heuermann was not and has never been a member of Peconic River. Yeah, of course they don't want to be associated with him. Mr. Heuermann did participate in a few high-powered rifle events at the club, which were open to the public, wrote Goldberg in an emailed statement. To clarify, these were specific safety programs called Small Arms Firing School that focus on gun safety and marksmanship for legal competition. They are sanctioned by the Civilian Marksmanship Program. For the record, the last time we can verify that Mr. Heuermann was on site at a competition was April 2010. Interesting that they put that qualifier in there, right? At a competition. Okay, Heuermann has been noted as an avid collector of guns, with almost 300 recovered from a soundproof basement in his home in the wake of his arrest. Prosecutors have said they do not believe any firearms were used in the 6 killings he has been charged with. Again, let's remember who our victims are. And Heuermann has pleaded not guilty on all of the charges. Okay, during a court hearing on June 6, prosecutors unveiled a trove of evidence linking him to the murders of Costilla and Taylor. Sandra Costilla is currently Heuermann's earliest known alleged victim, and she was killed in 1993. Ooh, so the latest would be Amber Costello in 2010. But of course, there are others along the shoreline that have been found, right? Okay. Costilla's remains were uncovered in the woods of Southampton, New York on November 20th, 1993. The 28-year-old was discovered with numerous sharp force injuries to her face, torso, breasts, left thigh, and groin. There she is. We can look at her here too. Okay, and then getting back to the article, they show, you guys remember we went through these documents, his preparation and his to not only commit the murders but also get away with the murders. He just had crazy. Crazy. I don't even think crazy is the word. It's intelligent, right? Of course he's nuts. Nobody who's a serial killer is not nuts, but he planned these things really well. And that's not a compliment. That is scary. Okay, Taylor, meanwhile, was a sex worker in Midtown Manhattan who vanished in July 2003. Authorities said records uncovered by a search warrant show Heuermann visited an area of Manhattan where Taylor was known to frequent as a sex worker on the day she disappeared. Her severed torso was discovered a mile from Peconic's property in July 2003, and her skull, hands, and forearm were recovered 8 years later on Gilgo Beach in March 2011. Heuermann was tied to both murders via DNA from hairs recovered on or near each of the women's bodies. A file was also shared by prosecutors that Heuermann allegedly used to meticulously plot his alleged kills and prepare for any issues he may encounter while trying to cover his tracks. We have a whole bunch of stuff. I think I can kind of skip all this stuff. Yeah, I think that's it. That's probably it, because we've read all the stuff, all the other stuff we know. Let's see what some of your comments are here. Lily says, "Great to be part of Alive. Great to have you here." Let's see. Honorable Audio, creepy. Yes, indeed. Kelly E. John Ray, who is a friend of this channel, by the way, has been right about a lot of this. He's dedicated to this case for no money. Yep, I like John. John is a guy who cares about this case, cares about his client's family a lot. Golden Spudlet agrees. It's creepy. Mooney, good to see you. The case runs deep. He's been active for 30 years. So horrific. Let's see. Honorable Audio says, even if he is, you can't go making statements. I think you're talking about John Ray, right? The thing is like John is really passionate about it. And I think he does step close to the line, and every once in a while does go over the line, but I think he does it for a purpose. He wants somebody to be angry enough to sue him over it. That he hasn't told me that. That's just what I think. Yeah, and you're talking about Sarah Gilbert's lawyer. Yeah, John Ray. Okay. Let's see what else is on here. Everybody's saying hi. Mooney says Ray has been spot on from the start, in my opinion. My cat's name is Karen, says I couldn't get into Dexter. Yeah, it's pretty disturbing, but I'm like, you guys know I love good lawyering. You know I love good reporting. I love good acting. And while that show, it was written pretty darn well, there were some amazing performances in that show, including Colin Hanks as probably the best bad guy ever. So I love the show. Mooney says, I feel there are so many more. Yeah, there probably are. AMJ80 says, yep, the most prolific ones are the ones who can live a double life entirely separate from one another. Yeah, they compartmentalize, right? They're able to close the door on that life, live this life until they must move back into the other room. And I know I'm doing a lot of fictional stuff here, but if you guys want to see a good fictionalization of that, check out Mr. Brooks starring Kevin Costner. It's pretty amazing. I used to walk by Ted Walker's house every day, twice for school. Okay, Autumn, remind me you don't even need to tell me. I'm going to look it up real quick. Ted Walker. Oh, yeah. He was one of the 3 who was convicted on the murder of Shauna Howe. Yeah, that is crazy. That is crazy. Goodness. Yeah, Mooney. EMJ80s. Yep. Gary Ridgway, BTK Bundy, scary group who fit in. Yeah. Let's see. We have no idea on the date of the trial. We're in just the beginning stages here. I wonder if they're going to move forward on trial on the first 4 or 6 and then wait to charge on other ones until later. I don't know. Let's see. Mooney says he evolved his MO. Yeah, I think as he learned, right, as he was doing his crimes, he was learning. Yeah. Let's see what else. Yeah. His defense will his defense be insanity? Man, I don't know if you can prove insanity. So just so you guys know, when you come up with a defense, in most places that I'm aware of, there are certain defenses that you can raise that are viable and allowable defenses. Insanity is one of those things. If they raise an insanity defense, then that triggers the way the prosecution has to prosecute the case, right? He has to assert insanity before the trial begins. And then the prosecution would say, okay, we need to be able to prove that he's not insane. I don't think insanity is going to hold up under scrutiny, man. This guy was calculating if he did the things that the evidence shows. That's good. Let's see. He's 60 now, right? Isn't he 60 years old now? So he would have been 29. His 93 was 31 years ago. Yeah, so he's been operating at least since then. Yes, I think you've put it correctly. Kelly E. It's very hard to prove insanity in legal terms. He knew right from wrong. Yeah, you agree with me. Leslie says, like Bundy, he's not nuts. He's an evil psychopath. Yeah. Yep. Kelly loved Dexter. Yeah, Dexter was my, what do you call that? What do you call that when you don't want people to know that you love something so much? Your guilty pleasure, I think is how that works. That's what it was for me. I loved it. Mooney loved it too. Yeah, I know that the guy who played Dexter, I can't remember his name right now, was in 6 Feet Under. I've never watched that. Okay. Gail says, no telling how many victims are out there. Yeah. Yeah, that same friend is the one who is a former prosecutor that we talk about. And she's like, I can't drive anywhere without thinking how many bodies are out there in the forest, in the desert, whatever. It's pretty crazy. Let's see what else. Let's see. I don't care, says Gail, when the trial is, as long as he never gets out ever. He knew right from wrong. No insanity plea. I don't think that, I'm a fence sitter on this one, guys. You know that one of the things I hate about our legal system, our justice system these days, is that it really works to make people plea. Really works hard to make people plea. But I think this is one where the prosecution is going to go against what they normally do. They probably will take it to trial. I think they probably, one, it's in the national spotlight. And two, you've got families of victims still living that they want their pound of flesh. Of course I'm not saying literally, but they want him to stand up and be tried. They want everybody to see what a monster he is. So, yeah. Israel Keys is another one. Yeah. EMJ80s, he held down way too much of a normal existence to be insane. Look how horrified his work colleagues were. Yeah. That is a good comment. Good comment. Carolina says, or is it Carolina? I don't know. Anyway, a witness told authorities that the guy his roommate left with looked like an ogre. That witness was spot on. Rex H stands over 6 feet tall. Yeah, 6.5 feet tall. I'm sure his victims were scared to death. That, in the when I was covering the Amanda Winkowski case almost exclusively, this was a few years ago. My suspect in that is a giant of a man, also like 6'5", 6'6", 380-pound kind of guy. And I thought, and I'm not little, right? I'm 6'2". I'm not a little guy by any stretch of the imagination, but I've thought by looking at him, his name was Antoine Garner. Dude, if he got his hands on me, I'm done. There's no chance that I have against a guy like that if he gets a hold of me. And I think that's what Rex Heuermann's victims found out, that he was just big and strong. Honorable Audio, you really seem to be on John Ray kick there. Yeah, let's see. There's a few more things. Daisy May agrees with me. This needs to go to trial. Our society shouldn't let this be brushed under the rug with a plea, which I agree with. Hey guys, that is a good comment, Daisy May, to finish our time together today. I've actually got plans. I need to get back to work. I've just taken a quick break from work. I need to wrap a couple things up. And then I am headed out to the Pittsburgh Pirates game to surprise the father of a friend of mine. A friend of mine passed away in 2021. Can't believe it's been that long. Of colon cancer, and he was a big lover of baseball. He loved the Oakland A's, but he loved baseball more. And in his son's memory, my friend's memory, in his son's memory and in his honor, he is going around to watch a Major League Baseball game in every stadium in Major League Baseball. So I'm taking my sons, and I'm going to surprise him there. So go catch a baseball game this afternoon, which I'm really looking forward to. It's been a long time since I've been at the park. So I'm going to head out. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. I will be back with more coverage of the cases that we're covering. Karen Reed, Madeline Soto, Micah Miller, Suzanne Morphew, Rex Heuermann, of course. We will be continuing our coverage of those and much, much more. If you have not subscribed, I invite you to do so. Last plug before we go. Please don't forget you can always contact me through my website, gavinfish.com. I put a link in the description below. Always, I'm pretty sure. I might mess up every once in a while. And then if you are on Facebook, please join us in the fish tank. We've got like 1,600 members. Holy cow, we're a growing little community on Facebook, and I invite you to join us. Just earlier today, I finally got the image of Mr. Victor Antonio Martinez Hernandez, a Salvadoreño who is charged in the murder of Rachel Moran. And we post these kinds of things over on the fish tank. So please join us over there. With that, I bid you adieu, and I'll see you the next time. Take care. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.